we had a little delay in our Vibe Talk connection. We are on, and today is Transformation Tuesday, and on Mondays we do Motivation Monday. You know, there are so many artists out there. Some are musical artists. Our very own Trish is a musical artist. We have painters, people who draw, and people who possess all kind of artistry. But today we're going to talk about the artistry of you and being an artist. What can you do if you were to think about it? Because everyone has some kind of artist inside of themselves. We're going to talk about this today for sure. We're really going to look at it for what it really is. When we think about the artistry of other people and how we view ourselves. I hope everybody can hear me well out there. And so when we talk about different artistry and we admire different people's artistry, we have that too. Today's thought is inspired by this. You are the artist of your life. Don't give the paintbrush to someone else. We all can become great masterpieces of ourselves. And I want you guys to think about becoming just that. Masterpieces of your life. What does that mean to you? And I want you guys to think about that. How do you think about that? I sent an invite, but I guess you'll have to. Good morning. For those who are joining us, we're talking about what artistry you have in your life. If you're not an artist, what do you do well? What is it that today you do very well from? Lines are open at 661-503-8993. What is it that you all do well? And wherever you guys are, please let us know where you're calling or where you're from. This is an interactive podcast, Vibe Talk, Facing the Lion podcast. And where are you listening in from? Where are you listening in from? If you are on and you see blue writing on the left top side of your page and it's clickable, please click there and join our YouTube channel. We're live on Facebook. I'd like you to hit that page as well. So what is something that you do well? What do you do well? I'm able to talk to a lot of young people well. What about yourselves? Can you think of something positive that you do for yourself? You have a gift. Did you all know that each and every one of us has a gift. You can hit it a time, Christian, it might come in because I don't know what it's doing now. I have no idea of what's going on. I was having a little trouble today too. So, but we are on Facebook Live. What is something that we do well? Anybody? Um, Today is a day to think about. Okay. You can send one more invite and I can put you in that way. Let's try it again. I was having problems this morning too. We are live, guys. And we are Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. I want to say good morning to all of you that are on. Good morning to my co-host. See you morning. And well, we're here for you. And I did it that way. Let's see. There you go. When we're live, guys, anything is bound to happen. I can appreciate the TV and the radio since we've been doing this. We just never know what. We just never know. Can you hear me, Trish?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, thank you. We never know. What is something that you think you are good at, Trish? It's an art.
I think I'm good at music.
Yeah, I think so too. So, everyone has a special something that they're good at. And today is going to be the day of transforming ourselves to think about it. Something that we do according to today's inspiration. This is a time for us to think about healing ourselves, thinking about our life and how we want our life to be. Um, how would you define art? We're going to take a look at that art because there's all kind of art in life. Musical art, it's an expression of something. Creative skill, it can be an inspiration to your emotional power. Now, with that being said, when we think about our emotional power and how we're using it, what impact has art been in your life? Let's think about that. Inspirations, as I told all of you, and Trish, you can step in anytime. Inspiration has been something that has been a beautiful thing in my life because it leaves you to think about the words that are being spoken. And Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast has done that. It has provided thought-provoking conversations. You've all engaged in it. You've all taken the time to look at what we have put out for you. That's for the last 3.5 years. And we thank you for this. Trish, what about your musical art? How has that left an impact on you or others?
It has left a positive impact on me because my art allows me to express myself in ways that I think no one else gets it. But when I write my music, I always feel the comfort and understanding in my lyrics. That's like me saying I get you, if even if they don't. And for others, I've recently got comments saying, "Oh, your music, it makes me feel happy. It makes me feel good." And somebody recently sent me a comment on my song Unstuck. They said that they got emotional. They listened to it 3 times, and that made me feel happy because I'm glad it impacted someone in a positive way.
Yeah.
So that's how my art has impacted me and
Yeah.
others.
Yeah. So when we think about art, how have we created something artful? And by the way, today's assignment, if you haven't had the opportunity to create something artful, today is your day. And it could be anything. It could be a song, it could be a food, it could be something that you know how to do and only you do it the best way that you do it. Why do we even think about art? Because art is a way of healing. For those of you who are really into our program, our podcast, it's all about emotions, all about healing. Music we use, as Trish just told you, as a musical artist, how she uses it. Did you guys know that when we are doing live shows for Vibe Talk After Dark, that sometimes we are muted? But then when we go back and we say we are using it for arts expression because it's public, you can't refuse that, that they will go back and take off our mute sound. That's how powerful art is. You know, even babies, and I know for mine when they were coming up, when they were newborn babies, I loved music. And I would play a lot of music. And music can be comforting, and it really does impact our life. That's why when we listen to the music, we know songs, we associate it with memory. And so, therefore, what I want to do with you guys on this Tuesday, excuse the noise, I'm in a different position today. We give everybody the opportunity to express a form of art. Even in schools, students are given the opportunity to express. And I found out that schools are doing that because it initiates expression. Kids will send in photos. Also, I do photography. I love photography. When I'm not doing Vibe Talk, I do my photos photography. And in case you guys want to look that up, it's MYF as in Frank, OTOZ, photography. One word, my photos photography. I love to do that. In fact, yesterday I needed to have a day off. And I worked on my photography. So let's talk about the art in you. When you think of something negative about yourself, I want you to transpire that. I want you to think about some creative inspiration. as toward yourself. Now let's think about that because it isn't the hardest to think about. Let's think about how it is going to impact you and those around you. When you think about your knowing how to do something and your cleverness and the way that you do something, that's beauty. Because that beauty is going to impact others. We want you to realize the meaning of art through your creation. Through our inspiration of Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast, what we did was gather people together, and we're hoping that we do that each day by inspiration. We want you to learn the different variations of art. We learn through skill, and we learn through other humans. Really, all art is connectivity. And each of us, as artful people, draw and appeal to all sorts of people. Have you guys realized that? And I want you to be thinking of different art. You know, there's Van Gogh, there are Adele, Usher. I want you to be thinking about people and their artistry and what they've left for us as a legacy. If you're into art galleries, there's a lot to be learned. I gravitate toward music. I love music, but I also like to look at photography, theater, film, dance, writing, and theater. How about you guys? Can you list some and what they mean to you? You know, art doesn't always have to involve something realistic. Have you ever saw illusions of art, you know, like a face, and then within the face, flowers might be coming out of that face? Those are illusions. People are so creative. In fact, there is art that never leaves your mind or heart. Think about that. Why even talk about art? How does it impact us as human? Art. How is it purposeful? Without it, the world would be a boring place. I had the opportunity one Saturday afternoon to go to an art festival that was here in my area, here in Southern California. And there were all kind of artistry. I had it up some time ago, and it was on our Vibe Talk page. And there were people out there that had uh, chalk painted. They had painted so many beautiful things. And you look at that and you go, wow, that's so amazing. How many of you feel that art is awesome? Anybody? Trish, do you feel art is awesome?
I do.
Yeah, yeah. You know, when we think about art in life, are we thinking about art that will create for you and I new meaning. Sometimes you go to people's houses and they have art on their walls. Even in kindergarten, there was a beautiful idea that I'd never thought of. And I thought about the art that our children do. You know, our children create art when they are very young. And there was a designer that came up with the idea that some of your children's art, because we collect it as parents, we could actually put it inside of a picture frame. How about that? That is a neat idea because you don't feel like you're going to store it away and never find it again. And I thought, wow, you know, that is really awesome. Think about it. When we're born, we don't know what we're going to be or what we're going to do, right? Nobody knows. You know, you may look at yourself, you may look at some celebrities when they were little. They didn't know that they were going to become celebrities. Here's the point, is that you are the art director in your life. Whatever you want to do in life, you can do whatever it is that you put your mind to. You know, I wonder when children are very little, when they say what they want to be when they grow up. Some people do say singers. Some people do say doctors and lawyers, and they become that. But did you know that many of us were born with the DNA to become beautiful musicians, beautiful artists, beautiful singers and dancers? A lot of times it starts within our genealogical lines. That's fascinating to me, that many of the people that have grown up, you go back to history, and history says, well, their parent was a musician, or their parent was a dancer, or this and that. You can choose what you want to be. That is what makes life artful. Today we're talking about Tuesday transformation and Motivation Monday to help you to think about what you'd like to do with your life. So my question to you all, what would you like to do? Because I'll tell you what, it's never too late to learn. Come a little closer. I said it's never too late to learn. I really can appreciate that even from the tiniest child, that, you know, good morning for those who are joining, those who have created what you think is just kindergarten has turned out to be something so precious and so beautiful that these people have become renowned artists. Because you see, the starting of them in kindergarten with Crayola, the teacher didn't say, no, as you formed into the adult that you are in childhood, there you sat in your pre-K classes without knowing it. Those those Crayolas were within your reach to draw something that was going to be awesome. And maybe we didn't understand what it quite was, but the artist of that paper knew exactly what it was and could tell you verbatim what is on that paper. Can you be like that child even today? Maybe you have some artists in your family. I know I do. And it's so amazing. Just like with photography, no two pictures are alike. I don't know if you guys know this, and I've tested this just to see, like how I used to do it with people. Like, okay, let's have a camera shooting day. I remember we're live. And let's shoot some of the same pictures. We're standing right next to each other, and we shoot from a different eye. I don't know if you guys know that, but that's a beautiful thought, isn't it? The way that our eyes perceive the beauty of art. How do we look at ourselves? You know, we're not throwaways. You're not a throwaway. You're not what anybody's ever told you if it's been negative. You are a piece of art. And every day is a reminder of yourself in your beauty of truth. When you think about your beauty of truth, what is it about you? Trish was able to spot on by saying the beauty of her music and how it affected other people. And that's what we like. When we share something with you for you to tell us how you felt about it. When we put something out, we want to know that it has affected you in a positive manner. Tuesday's transformation is all about change and changing the way that we are doing things. And there's a message in this, and I don't know if you've all found it yet. That you can be that butterfly. You can take your wings and you can choose to be whatever it is that you want to be. Going back to the thought of when you were a little kid and the teacher asked you what you wanted to be. At that time, you may have no idea what you want to be, so your likes, your desires, your passions, they grow. And here's how they grow. They grow through your environmental and even sometimes what is in your DNA. Like I said, that thing about maybe your parents were artists down the line, maybe your grandparents were artists. You like some of the same thing. It is such a beautiful thing. But what I'm here to tell you is that it's time to discover what your likenesses are. You know, people go a long way, and you know what they do? Here's what they learn. They learn all about their genealogical background. They learn what nationality they really are. People go through and do that, and I think that's so wonderful to know the roots of yourself. But what are you rooted in as an artist? Good morning and welcome to our program, Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. And can you guys let us know where you're from? Going back, we think about what people go through to find their roots. And there is a show about that. And I find that show so interesting because here we think we're inheritance of one thing, and we find out knowing that, wow, our generations go back. Wow, looking deep within. So I ask you today to find deep within, what is your likeness? What do you like to do? Because we get up every day, and when we get up, are we more grateful for what we had today than we had yesterday? Are we more grateful for today? As each day goes on, do we find something that is beautiful? You know, I find it fascinating that so many people can draw. That's amazing to me because I can't draw. And if you ask me to draw, you're going to get what is a stick figure. You know, when we used to play hangman, I don't know if anybody plays that anymore, but yeah, you're going to get that. You're not going to get what is picture art. But even when we were little kids, there was something artful about us. You know, we think about big celebrities. They probably didn't know. They probably didn't know that they were going to grow up and be actresses and actors. You know, I often wonder that. I brought up Adele because I love to hear her music, but I also like a lot of other celebrities. You know, you're not gonna sit there one day and say, one day I'm going to become Adele. But how did it get that way? Because it had some kind of environment that produced that love or that passion for them. That's why it's so important when you are a young person to grow up in the direction that you're going to go. You know, our parents are there for our guidance and to steer us on the right course. But a word to parents: if your child does not become the doctor that you are, or does not become the painter that you are, that's okay. Let that be okay, because they're going to find the art, the gift, the expression that they have. Going back to the crayons. As you walk around with your mind's eye, I want you to think about this for a moment, and you see a group of children that are going to draw. There is about 30 children that I want you to envision. And you ask them to draw something. How many children in that classroom are going to draw the same thing? What's your take on that, Trish? What do you guys think?
I don't think that they're gonna draw the same thing because they have their own minds, so children will surprise you.
Point in case. Does it not surprise anyone that's listening to this podcast that you, yes, you, are capable of having not only the desire, but the will to be and choose whatever you want to be. Let no one take your idea from you. And that crayon that you're about to touch as you envision yourself, and let's go back and rewind. I want you to envision yourself as a little kid. Sometimes, like I told you, we are going to visit ourselves as our younger selves. And I want you to be able to do that today. As you envision yourself as a younger self, you have the opportunity to color, paint, or use clay. I want you to pick one. You ready? And as you're able to hold it, the object that you're going to create something with, that is your first start of something that you like. If you love to color, you're more than likely going to pick up the crayon. Crayolas are at every school. As an educator, I used to hand them out in our learning program because that let children know that they could get creative. So which one would you choose? Me, I'd probably pick crayons because I heard the word color. I used to color for hours as a kid because that was fun to me. And what it does also is relax the mind. Trish, we're going to come to you for a moment because you are an artist of music. How do you feel when you're in your zone with your art of choice? How are you feeling as you're in that zone?
I feel safe and also vulnerable because when I am in that zone, I try to not cancel my emotions because those emotions are going in the song. So, yeah, I feel comfortable and safe doing music because I am able to express myself. So, that's how I feel.
So back to the classroom. Thank you for that. You're in the classroom and there you are given the choice of different forms of art. You choose one. And what you do, you make the best. Good morning and thank you. Where are you listening in from, please? And thank you. We're talking about the art in you. And we're asking the question, what art, what can you do that's unique to you? So we're in the classroom and we're thinking about creating something. Coloring is easy because you're going to be able to choose selectively the colors you'd like to use. And I've had this experience as an educator. You have a group of kids and they're going to color something. No two are going to be the same. Now, one kid may do a dinosaur, while the other kid does a dinosaur. But what they're about to express to you on paper is not going to be the same. We learn through experience. And that's a time for you to express yourself. A word to the teachers. As your former colleagues, I encourage you teachers, when a child is coloring, let them be free to color. If they think that a dinosaur is green, that's what they see, their perception of things. If they draw a picture of their family and the father is not wearing any shoes and the mother doesn't have on earrings, that is their perception. But we don't take the fact away that they still are beautiful artists. How many of you see where I'm going with this?
I do.
And where am I going with this, Trish? Oh,
Um,
what?
you're Oh, well, my take on it is everyone's different, and how everybody views something that seems like a general point of view in a different way. Like you said, I was just thinking about this, how kids, they draw, when you say draw the sun, one kid is gonna draw the sun
Yeah,
orange, the other kid's gonna draw the sun purple.
yeah,
Because that's how they are. It's not wrong, it's just their point of view.
right. Thank you. And even I've seen some sons with sunglasses on. It's going to depend on how you look at it. And what do we say to that? That is so creative. So the educator has a room full of beautiful art. Each of that expressions or those expressions of art represents 30 people and how they feel about something. Even if children didn't understand the assignment, give them credit. Because we as educators or we as mothers and fathers, we want it to be perfect. We want our children to do perfect. Well, that's how they learn, by creating and expressing on that paper what they want to be. Crayola came up with the idea to have all these beautiful colors. I never knew there were so many greens until I got a box of 64 Crayolas. How many of you felt like that?
I did.
Yeah, you like, wow, that's purple too. How about you, Trish? What was your experience?
Yeah, I felt the same way. I was like, you know what? We usually have the general orange to paint a sunset or something, but we have so many colors and it's like, yay, variety.
Yeah, variety. And that's what I want you guys to think about yourself in comparison to who? No one but you. You are a beautiful piece of art. You can affect someone for the good, for the challenged, or for the ugly. Just like I asked you when you went to visit yourself as a younger version of yourself. Remember, I said to choose what form of art you're going to use. See, we're all different. We're all different with our words. Some of us have angry words. Some of us are kinder in our words. Some of us use less words. But we have the beauty of art to affect everyone around our environment. You see, those people that became who they became in their older lives, like Adele, any actors and actresses, their lives had that environment in it. But then there were some who really developed a liking for that, and they started to be these people that not only sang, but they could play instruments too. It just wows me, the beautiful art that's out there. Because you say, how did they learn to do that? And every singer that I've ever been introduced to knows how to play an instrument. Remember back in the days when we would watch the entertainment shows such as Soul Train and American Bandstand and all kind of shows. These singers would have their literal instruments on stage with them, their whole band. Because I remember when Dick Clark and Don Cornelius would interview them, and they go through every one of their bands. Art is beautiful. If we didn't have any art, just think about that. You know, when we think about our Creator, Jehovah God, we think about the time that He's made that beautiful butterfly that you see behind. There are all kinds of butterflies thanks to Him. Do you appreciate that kind of art? And the millions of other creation of art that we have are young people. Let's expose them to beautiful art. Because you see, the beautiful art says something to us. Aren't we not feeling like, wow, wow, oh my goodness. Every time we see pieces of art. What does that mean for you and I today? That if we can become beautiful masterpieces of art, our brain is pretty powerful. We talk a lot about brain power in here. For anybody that needs to hear this today, I want you to take your butterfly wings and fly. Because many of you have art that you have not yet discovered. I want you to pull that out of yourself. You know, for every kindergartner that I've ever ran into, I cannot say, for every kindergartner that I've ever been introduced to, ever worked with, I have never had one that just didn't draw anything. See, Crayola did something very important. Because with that box of Crayolas, you're able to open up a whole world of art. Now, after today, you probably won't ever look at a box of crayons the same way. In fact, Crayola is a multi-million-dollar business. Because now you've got what? Markers, water paint, watercolor, Sharpies. And that's what we can do with our art. We become one thing transformed into another thing, just like the butterfly. Use your art. Use your art as healing. Encourage art. If you've been thinking about taking a dance class, you're not too old. The only thing that will stop you is you yourself. We even have dancers that are in wheelchairs. That's inspiring. let's create a world of beautiful, artful people. Trish, we're going to go right into Trish's treasure only because we're having difficulty. So I'm going to listen to Trish.
Okay. So art, I love art. Art is my top hobby and priority because art is me. So that's something that's valid in my life. And when I think about my art, I think about what if I didn't have music? And that seems, when I think about that, it's like I feel dark. It's like where would I be if I didn't have music and the expression through my music? And I that's what, and it makes me appreciate my artistry more. It makes me continue to create. Sometimes y'all will see on my Facebook, if you guys follow my Trish's Treasures, you'll see where I say, I'm not making music for a while, I'm taking a break. And when I say that, it's like an hour later, I think of more music. And it's like, I was trying to take a break. And I just keep thinking of creativity, and I just want to continue to create. And like the variety of crayons, there's also growth in, there's many stages of artistry as well. Like children, they grow up, I mean, when they're younger, they draw stick figures. And when they get into third grade, they draw pants on the stick figures. And when they get into middle school, they start drawing things with detail. Like they draw arms and legs and things. And when you get into like high school, that's when you learn to draw masterpieces. And they were already masterpieces because it's how we view the world. It's like our eyes painting our own reality. And we do paint our own lives. And I actually have a song about that on my new album, Horizon Side B. It's called How You Been. And I felt like this topic right here goes with it so well because we spend so much time trying to get into other people's mindsets and see where their head is at and trying to catch up to other people when we are our own artist. We are our own creative mindset, and we try to compare ourselves to other people when the only person that we should be comparing ourselves to or catching up to is ourselves, because it's what we can handle. And I try to do that every day. I try to not compare my artistry to other people's artistry. I try, when people have asked me this question, they say, who do you compare your art to? Who do you want to be like? And it's hard to answer. It's always hard to answer. And now I have an answer for when they ask me that question. My answer is I would like to be me. I would like to I would like to see how I grow as an artist and not compare to other people's growth, even though I love those artists that I do love. But I would like to stay true to myself, what makes me unique. And to answer our question, that's what makes me unique. I am my own artist. I create from my own experience, and I can tell when I hear my music from afar, I can tell it's me. So that's something that I feel is unique. So if anyone has any part of you that's creative, whether it's taking pictures or making sculptures or making music or just painting murals on the walls of your city, it's inside of you to be appreciated. It's something that can grow and it can expand because there's things to learn about your own artistry and ways to get better into it. But it'll only get better, it'll only expand if you practice your artistry and if you embrace it.
Lion Power, thank you. For more Trisha's Treasures, all you have to do is go to our YouTube page, or even now, hashtag Trisha's Treasures, and you will see our lion for that, or her Trisha's Treasures logo. It is affiliated with Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast, always. So, you are, you can be your own beautiful artist. I hope you have learned something from this. And our last question for the day is, what did you learn and discover from this program? Trish?
I learned that I have my own artistry, and comparing myself to other people's arts is like that one kid in the class looking at other people's paper and asking, what did you draw?" It's like that. But the task was to just draw anything, draw something that you want. And that's how it is when I compare myself to other people. So I discovered that I should learn how to just focus on what I'm doing, focus on my path in my artistry and my creativity. And this made me feel empowered as an artist because it makes me feel encouraged as well to make more art and see how far I can expand in my artistry.
For me, what I've learned and discovered is that there are variations of art. Go check them out. The world is yours when you think about your environment in art. And for those of you who are singing, and for those of you who are rappers, check out all the art. Don't just limit yourself to a certain specific kind of art. If you like a certain specific kind of art, that's okay because you're being individual, but get to learn the many variations of art. Don't just become something because somebody else did it and now you want to try it. But sometimes peering into the different arts can bring about a lot. Change, that is. So for me, learning that there's so many variations of art is awesome. And it has really inspired me. So, when you hear this go live on streaming, you will hear all of our music and all of our sounds. I was really having a hard time this morning connecting to everything. And for those who are, I guess it's another hurricane watch somewhere in Florida. Am I right, Trish? Or did you hear about it?
Yes, you're right.
please be safe. Please be safe. Um, we just want to remember that we are in some places around the globe where we're not affected, but let's have empathy and sympathy for those who are experiencing things such as those. Just we're thinking about those who are experiencing hurricanes and other elements. Please be careful. I challenge you to change something about your life today. May this inspire you to share with others. And today's song is Hot Butterfly by Shaka Khan. Have a good day. Thanks, everybody.